Uh, if you're rewatching this, I suggest you jump forward maybe 5 minutes or so, and then we should be off and running. So, kind of open format tonight, as usual. Uh, One thing I do want to talk about is what happened in Idaho today, and we'll get into that in just a moment once we get a few more people in here. Hope everybody is doing well. Sunday night, and we're live. Welcome in. Welcome to the channel. Well, it looks like we had one and they left. Why can't fish walk? I don't know. Why can't they walk? What's up, Sonu? Come on, don't keep me waiting. Why can't they walk? Um, that's funny. That's funny, little Zeke. Littly. Now you're Littly. You've been demoted for talking shit. Anyways, hope everybody is doing well. Still don't know why can't fish walk, but maybe you'll answer that at some point. In the meantime, hit that like button, subscribe if you are new. We're at 2,909. Got that 909 in the house tonight. But yeah, anyways, so apparently somebody started a fire in Idaho today. Yeah, I know. You called in sick on the live last night, I guess, huh? What's up, Caleb? How you doing? What's up, Crystal? So yeah, somebody started a fire in Idaho today and then opened fire on the policeman, not the policeman, the fire department as they arrived to start attacking the fire. Um, what's up, Bash? How you doing? I hope you're well. I hope everybody else is well tonight as well. So yeah, that stuff is going on in Idaho. I guess they still haven't figured out who the shooter or shooters are, but I know this could end up being a wild week. You know, there's a lot of we're on high alert basically for terrorism, and we got the 4th of July on Friday, so just be careful out there, guys. I would not suggest hanging out in crowds, because when these individuals do things like that, they like big crowds for maximum damage, I guess. You know what I mean? So Rigatoni Sock says, how many tattoos do you have? I don't have that many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. Why can't fish talk? Ezekiel. Lily. That's why I am negative energy here on. Yeah. Do I ever regret the tattoos? No, I don't. I don't really have anything that's like gang affiliated or anything. Probably the closest thing I have to that is the arrowhead on my arm. It says 909 for San Bernardino. But no, I don't necessarily regret it. I got my kids and my wife on my arms. Yeah. I would say no as far as that goes. How do you think Diddy's trial will turn out? I don't know. You know, I was thinking about that the other night, and it's gotten really quiet about that, uh, the whole trial thing. So I don't know what's going on there, but you know, if they do talk to you, then you might want to get checked out or stop smoking. What? Oh, yeah, I get you, Big E. Me versus you in a boxing match for charity. Winner gets 30K live on Kick. However, the fight is in Tijuana, Mexico. You down? Will be hosted by YouTuber. I need someone easy to beat. Are you Tony from Stories Written by a Current Prisoner? I don't think you are. But nah, that's funny. That's real funny. And that stuff's a scam anyways. Don't nobody ever get paid. Uh, have a good night as well, Eric, and God bless you too. So, yeah, that stuff's going on up there in Idaho, and this could just be the beginning, in my opinion. You know, I mean, we've got some wildfires burning down here by me. They're nothing too big. Get him, Ezekiel. With a cigarette in my mouth. You know, I always say jokingly, if you can make me chase you around for a couple minutes, you got a much better chance. Once the oxygen runs out. Nah, but that is not, I'm not in that lifestyle anymore. I'm not a prison YouTuber who thinks I'm chingon and, you know, I need to assert my dominance by fighting somebody. And like, that stuff is stupid if you ask me. I mean, it's drama and it sells, you know what I mean? I agree, we do have God, yes. Nice cat. Actually, that's a dog. That's Lily. Lily, say hi to the people. You see Lily? She's an attack chihuahua. She's been trained. She's ready. Kind of weird question is that, Tomas? Oh, it looks like Ezekiel's on it. Good job, Ezekiel. So yeah, we got the stuff. Is a wolf? No, it's a chihuahua. You see it? You see her? Vicious. She's vicious. She has to be registered because she's that deadly. What's up, Monk? How you doing, brother? Yep, so talking a little bit about the terror event going on in Idaho, at least that's what I'm assuming it is. When somebody starts a fire and then starts sniping the firefighters, that's what it sounds like to me, you know? Yeah, the ankles are definitely not safe with Lily around, as you can see in the background there. She'd be tearing some ankles up. But, how you been, Monk? Yeah, I think we need to get together and do another collab on the sponsors and those wild stories. When we were talking in the comments earlier in the week, you inspired that video on everybody getting the violation. The whole house got violated. And that wasn't the only time I was in a sober living where everybody either got kicked out or sent back to prison, you know what I mean? And yeah, I feel you on not wanting to go to work. Absolutely. Yeah, Friday night at work was a real cluster. The regular supervisor wasn't in, and I'm the lead man in the yard, and I had two supervisors that didn't know what was going on calling me, trying to tell me how to run things. And it was just very, very annoying. So that's why I was able to go live last night, because I didn't even attempt to get Saturday work because I was just beyond annoyed with that situation. But oh no, no offense taken, definitely not. I know that guy. Did he spell his name? Could very well have been. I'd never seen it spelled. I don't honestly recall, but yeah, probably. I mean, it's a small world in the world of recovery, especially if you're from San Bernardino or the surrounding areas. You know, so yeah, you very well may have run across that dude. He was he was something else. But same. I have work tomorrow. I don't want to go. That, well, it's good that you have work, you know. Oh yeah, Lily's cool. That's the wifey's dog, but I think she don't want to be in the house by herself right now. So, what's up, Master Clickbaiter? I like the name. I hope you're doing well, man. We're just kind of talking about current events. We talk about sobriety here. Prison is hella fun. Oh man, I don't know. In 2002, I had a sponsee in a sober living near H and 8th. That was around the same time of that story, somewhere within that 5-year period. I think it was, yeah, right around there. That's funny. H and 8th. Okay. Yeah, I know that area very well. I grew up on 10th and G, right around the corner from there. So, yeah, as I recall, we were on 8th, kind of down by Succombe Lake when this happened. My 1-year-old pup might confuse her for a chew toy. Yeah, we have a bigger dog too. She's a Australian cattle dog, Stormy, and yeah, those two don't get along too well. They don't play very nice together, but they're family, you know. Yeah, maybe we can get something together next weekend, Monk. I think that would be a great idea because we get to talk, and I'm sure some more stories will come out on my end, anyways. You know, sobriety's like such a crazy thing, and you know, you have all these people that go from being very unresponsible to being in a short time in positions of, I don't want to say authority, but you know, they're sponsoring people and stuff, and you know, don't always go as planned, that's for sure. So yeah, I think that would be very cool. What the heck is Urdu? I don't know. Pakistani language. Is sober living possible? Absolutely. I've been sober since 2004, Dale. It's very possible. It's just a matter, you got to make up your mind that you want a change in your life and you want something different, you know? For a long time, I would say that that's what I wanted, but it wasn't what I wanted. Once I made up my mind that it was what I wanted, then I found it, you know? So, no, negative, Dale. Not on the general population side. Maybe on the protective custody side. I don't know. I never did time on the protective custody or the SNY side, but I know there's a gay gang on the protective custody side, the gay boy gangsters. So obviously, there's that. But those guys, they don't walk general population yards because it's too much drama. And it's not a knock on people that are homosexual or whatever, but you know, just it is what it is. We have an Australian cattle dog as well. Yeah, I love the Australian cattle dogs, David. We had a blue first. This one's a red, and she's like probably about 7 years old. She's getting a little older. She's slowing down a little bit, but like very trainable, very like they're working dogs, you know. So like she'll drive you crazy wanting to chase the ball, but at the same time, if somebody comes in that you don't know, she's very territorial. So, but yeah, very easy to train too, you know. Like Monk says, you have to want sobriety and then you have to work on it. Absolutely. What's up, JC? How you been, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Take it easy, Ezekiel. Men on film. Yeah, exactly, Monk. Exactly. I had some experiences like that in LA County Jail. I told the story about that, where we were serving they're called it's K11 status. They're like keepaways, and for whatever reason, it was on the 5,000 floor in LA County, and you know, I was a trustee, and I'm coming in, and I got the crates of milk, right? So I'm pushing the crates of milk in. Guard opens the door, and we went into the homosexual module, if you will, dorm, whatever you want to call it. And these people, they had like their shirts tied tightly, like they were living the life of a woman type of thing. Or not all of them were, but some of them were, I guess, depending on, you know, I don't know that much about that lifestyle, but, you know, that door cracked open. I went to push those milks in, and somebody over there was like, hey. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, shout out to them folks, but just not my style, you know. I'm cool as a cucumber. Ice starting, skating in a blizzard, eating a frosty gillet. Man, that's super cool, JC. Man, our oldest dog passed away 2 weeks ago. He made it to 17. Wow. I'm sorry to hear about you losing your dog, David. I know for me that always hits hard when we lose one. Love my dogs. Like most loyal creatures you'll ever come across, you know? And abstinence. Is there any differences between the... So, I guess... Crystal Lynn asks, what are the differences between sobriety and abstinence? Is there any differences between the two? I think, you know, you could be abstinent all your life, I guess, right? So you'd be, they call, those sort of folks, they call them normies. They're normal, you know? And that's how I see that. Now, sobriety... And, you know, you could apply that label to both sides, I think. You know, you're living a sober life. It is what it is, right? But when you come into sobriety out of addiction, that's kind of what I'm referring to as sobriety. But that's a good question. JC, on the general population yards, there was no such thing, or at least it wasn't public, you know? Appreciate you, Dale. What's up, Abdu? How are you? No, I'm not in jail right now, JC or Brandon. Haven't been in a while. Yeah, well, you be careful, JC. If that's what you're planning to do, just make sure you're not drinking and driving, you know? Oh, you'd be surprised, Ezekiel. There are definitely cell phones in there. There is a channel. It's called Who's Who, I think. It's some young black fellas, gangster guys. They're in California prison, and they're on there all the time, surprisingly. I think the administration has to know that they're doing that, but I think they're hoping that they're going to give up some game that they can investigate. So, but yeah, you'd be surprised. If I was born, Monk says, if I was born in a society that had no drugs or alcohol, I would have found something to get addicted to. I'm sure of that. The substance has nothing to do with my condition. Yeah, and that's a great statement. I agree. It's going to be burgers, wings, brats, and a shitload of beer and fireworks and loud heavy metal all day. Well, you have fun, bro, and be safe. Uh, if you were someone's bitch in prison, they dress you like a girl. Like I said, on the general population yards in California, that stuff don't go. You know, maybe on the SNY side or the protective custody side, maybe, I don't know if that sort of stuff happens over there. There was one encounter in prison. I was in reception. There was a homosexual that came into the dorm on general population, and that individual lasted like a week in there and was just was causing drama, stirring things up, and actually kicked a riot kicked off over the actions of that individual. I did a video on it. Uh, I can't remember the name of the title. I'll mention it on the next one if I can remember. Matthew says, did a 4-year bid in Folsom. 4-year bid in Folsom turned my life around for the better. I'll never go back. That's good stuff, Matthew. Congratulations. Were you at Old Folsom or New Folsom? I know New Folsom. That place rocks and rolls, you know. I mean, the Old Folsom did too. At one point, that place was one of the most dangerous yards in the state. Okay. Yeah, as far as I know now, it's just like lower. It's lower levels because it's such an old joint that there's a lot of blind spots and stuff, and you know, it's just changed. But yeah, that's good stuff. I'm glad you turned your life around, brother. Jail facilities are less comparable to those programs on the outside, so I guess programs like relapse prevention. What I'll say about programs in prison, because they have NA and AA and a whole slew of programs in there. But the thing is, when you're on the active side, when you're in general population, those meetings tend to get used more for passing information to people on other yards. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't take those meetings all that seriously. You know, a lot of the concepts of AA and NA, you just can't practice them in a prison environment. You know, like you can't pull somebody's covers. You know, if somebody's doing something wrong, you can't, like, maybe on the PC side it might work, you know what I mean? But when I was doing time on a general population, that stuff just, it couldn't work because there's a certain code that we had to live by. But that's a good question. What's happening to the Idaho firefighters? So apparently at like 1:30 in the afternoon today, somebody started a fire in Idaho near Coeur d'Alene, I believe it is. And when the firefighters arrived on scene to start attacking the fire, there was at least one sniper, maybe more, that started firing on the firefighters. 2 firefighters were unalived and several more were injured. And they were stuck at one point because they didn't know where the gunfire was coming from. This is still an ongoing situation. Dale, as far as that goes, I mean, you could have some cell time, I guess you would say, where, you know, you let your cellie know, hey, I'm not going out to yard, I need some cell time. You can kind of read between the lines as far as that goes. But that's about it, honestly. I mean, people adapt to that lifestyle. Yeah. I hear you, Matthew. One, and then I'm never touching it again. Ways around getting beer before you're 21, my friend. All right, we are not encouraging underage drinking, so please don't do that. we're not encouraging any drinking at all. The dog just bumped the thing. Sorry about that. And he's right about that. JC says never say never. You might like it. Yeah, I agree. I had a nephew that didn't start drinking until he was like 25, and then became a raging alcoholic. So I wouldn't suggest opening that can of worms. You know. Yeah, it really is. You know. Measurable benefits in community recovery programs. Is there a benefit? Because I would think you get more freedom, like those halfway houses. I think that's a good question. What are your thoughts on measurable benefits in community recovery programs? Is there a benefit? Because I would think you get more freedom, like those halfway houses. Yes, and I think so too. But at the same time, I feel let me speak for myself, because they put me in a 90-day program that I ended up walking out of. They put me on court cards and made me go to meetings. They made me do a bunch of stuff, regular testing. And the thing is, until you're ready to get clean, it really don't matter, you know. But I think that those programs do help a lot of people who don't feel like they're predestined to go to prison like I did. You know, growing up where I grew up, and I don't want to say I'm a product of my environment, and we were talking about this last night, because, you know, we make choices, and choices have consequences. And I made some bad ones growing up. But my father had been to the joint, and I felt like I was predestined to end up there myself. And once I finally got there and realized that it wasn't the thing, then I finally got it right. But I know there are some people that I went through programs with that did get it right away. You know, for some people, you know, it's not normal to be incarcerated. Unfortunately for me, it felt more and more that way as I went along. The first time I was a little intimidated. By the last time, I felt more comfortable being locked up than I did on the streets. So you know, different end results for different folks, I guess. But I know a lot of people did, you know, break free from addiction due to community programs. Centinela. Moises Vargas says, I was locked up from 92 to 2012. Damn, you were down 20 years? Delano Reception Center. I was in Delano Reception Center. Centinela, Salinas Valley, and RJ Donovan. Damn, like, those are some pretty heavy joints, bro. I'm glad you're out, and I hope you're doing well. Oh, they believe the situation's over in Idaho. That's a great thing, you know. And yes, Monk, humans can adapt to almost anything. I agree. Damn. Yeah, alcohol, I don't care for it either anymore. Mormon dude never saw alcohol before he was 30. Yeah, and it's true, Monk. You know, you think, oh, well, it's never been a problem for me before. Well, yeah, because you never introduced it to your life. I'll tell you what, the first time I did meth, I was hooked. Alcohol wasn't so much my thing, but it was part of the culture, I guess you would say. You know what I mean? So I sip on my 21st birthday. I'm not going to drink a whole lot. All right, bro. I mean, you know, we are free-minded individuals. We can do whatever we want to do. Like I said, I wouldn't suggest it, because you could open up a can of worms there. But if that's what you want to do, just be careful, bro. Yeah, and Dale's right. Alcohol sucks. It depresses you on the long run and makes you do dumb shit. Absolutely. And yeah, coming off of it, like JC says, you definitely pay the price when you drink a lot. Don't miss the sweats, the shakes, the insomnia, the nightmares, and the anxiety. But that's what happens when you go on a week long. Yeah, absolutely. Ironwood, yeah, Ironwood was bad too. It's really hot out there. My God. Okay. Yeah, you just got to be real careful with the alcohol. You know, just because something's legal, don't mean it's good. Like my cigarettes. You know, I mean, I wish I never would have started those things. Uh, yeah, Monk says every time I drink, I break out in handcuffs. Huh. First hit of meth. Yeah, absolutely, Steven. Like it's crazy because my first experience, I was sitting in the driveway with my connection, and we were burning some on a foil just to see. I wanted to see how it snapped back, you know, because people were bullshitting me and telling me the shit wasn't no good and this and that. And my connection, he had a big pin and he pulled the ends off of it and hit it, you know. And he tells me, "Hey, fire it up again." So I fired up again, and he passes me the thing. And I wasn't a drug user at this point. Without even thinking, I just took a hit of it. My heart started racing 100 miles an hour. I got paranoid. I was like, it was the worst experience up to that point in my life. And for like the next 4 or 5 hours, like I was bugging. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm never going to do this shit again. Like, this is so scary. And then I started coming down and I said, I need some more. Just that quickly, you know what I mean? And then the next 15 years of my life got trashed, you know? Darwinism, survival of the fittest, has been replaced with healthcare and psych meds. I agree. Still alcohol, Ezekiel. I mean, you're a young man, and I think you make good decisions. A lot of people see it as a coming of age. You know, when they're legal, they're gonna have a drink. But you know, like I said, just be careful, bro. I hated meth when I tried it. That's good. That's very lucky for you that you didn't become dependent. Yeah, absolutely. Steven says, been sober for 2 years now of everything. Is it but cigarettes? Yeah, I'm in the same club, bro. Congratulations on your sobriety, though. That's awesome. You know, it's good when people put that out there because it shows others that you know, we do recover. You know, I mean, you just have to make up your mind that that's what you want to do, and get a little bit of help along the way. You know, in my opinion. 30 beers in one day, woke up and had a hangover from hell. Was kind of scary. Ain't gonna lie, I thought I was dying. Yeah, that's wild, bro. Or I guess the success stories with people recovering or rehabilitating. I guess I don't understand what is actually being done to prevent and help support individuals. Well, there are a lot of success stories out there. There are a lot of stories of failure as well. You know, I mean, like I said, like it took me a handful of times to finally get it right. But the dog's tripping. Hold on, give me just a second, guys. Let me let him inside. Are they home or what? Come on. The door's open, dummy. Come on. Come on. Okay. I don't know what you're tripping about. Sorry about that. Excuse me, guys. Uh, but yeah, you know, and the thing is with the success stories, I would say people that get into the program of Narcotics Anonymous, you you know, it's how can I say this? Like initially coming in, you're the one that needs the help. Then as you work through those steps, you become the one helping the next one. So you know, it the way the program's put together is actually pretty cool in my opinion. Yeah, and it does that. Not eating and drinking heavy is what really, yeah. Yeah, and I've heard that as well. Uh, mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I've done content in the past where, I asked the question like, you know, are you the person you would want your son or daughter bringing home? Because if you're not, then maybe you should make a change. Hold on a second. My bad. Um, you know, because our kids aren't small forever, right? And they they learn what they live and what they see. And if they see mommy or daddy snorting lines in the kitchen, then they think that's normal. And then eventually they bring home somebody like you. And, if you're trying to live a better lifestyle, then that's all bad. Uh, yeah. At least from institutions, do they support people in finding housing in that community rehabilitation? See, I study addictions and community support. So this is interesting. Now, in California, unless you're like a high control inmate or something, there's very little support. You get $200 a gate money, and they send you on your way, and you go check in with a parole officer within 72 hours or 24 hours or whatever. You got to check in with the parole officer right away. The parole officer might be able to get you some vouchers for a motel or something if you don't have anything. But to be honest with you, a lot of those resources go to the guys with the cases involving children. If you follow what I'm saying, because they want to know where these S offenders are at. If you're just a drug addict or something, they don't really care. So I did was acid. My first time I got 2 big-ass drips of straight liquid acid and later convinced myself that I was dead. Damn. Yeah, and they do tend to go hand in hand, Dale. I agree. Yeah, I know. Shoot's tripping. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the comments. Hey, you have a good one, Matthew. I appreciate you tapping in. If you're still here, I'm sorry I got a little behind in the comments. When I was on acid, that sucked. Damn. A CA meeting, having no clue what it was, but I have learned how easily you can bond or trauma bond, which I found interesting. Years, due to my sensitivity to alcohol, was never my drug of choice. Huh. Back to AA. I've been drinking again. Yeah, definitely find a meeting near you if you don't know where there is one. You know what I mean? All right, JC. Well, you have a good one. I appreciate you tapping in tonight. Opiates, unfortunately, but I've been on methadone for years now. I wish you luck. Definitely. What's up? Hello, world. How are you tonight? All right, this is the part where I tell you guys, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. We're channel's been growing, and that's all due to you guys. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that when I go live, you can tap in with us. I know some people just like to watch the lives. Some people watch the videos. I do shorts as well. I try to do motivational shorts. during the week. Uh, it'll get here when it gets here. Are you asking if I'm married? Yeah, I've been married for 30 years. And as far as football season, I think mini camp starts here pretty soon. We got preseason games in August, and then the 49ers will completely dominate the league. Last year was just a one off, you know? Huh. You mean soccer? English is a tough language. They say it's one of the hardest ones to learn. They say Spanish is one of the easiest ones. I know a little bit of Spanish, but if English is hard to learn, shit. Good thing I grew up speaking that language or I'd have been screwed. Absolutely. We're going to be hoisting a Lombardi trophy next February. At least in my mind, you know. Like Dale's got some Espanol going on there. That's right. Eso, homie. I work in a call center where all customers yell at me because I don't speak well, but I need the money. Well, I think your English is good. Hello, world. So, welcome. We're glad you're here. So, yeah, I guess it sounds like the Idaho situation is coming to an end, which is good. You know, you're in Texas. Shout out to Texas. Yeah, I like the Bengals. That's the wifey squad right there. Joe Burrow, that dude's a beast. So is Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Like they got a really good squad. But I'm telling you, nobody's going to be a match for them Niners. That's cool. We got a couple people in Texas. It looks like it's good stuff. Should not be yelling at you. It just shows their disrespect for, I guess, other languages and cultures. Hello, yeah, I agree. So, Joel, you out there tonight? Tap in, buddy. Didn't hear from you last night. Just wondering how you're doing, bud. How the baby is. I think we play you guys later on in the year. Maybe we'll have to put a wager on that or something. Shout out to Pennsylvania. Ah. Yeah, that's that's like the only sport I still watch is the NFL. My beloved 49ers. I used to watch the Lakers, but then LeBum showed up and not a fan. I don't like it when people bring politics into my sports. Uh, like he wants to be some, um, I don't know what, but like he started talking politics and putting that stuff out there. Like you're an athlete, bro. You're not a politician. It is hot, DeMarco. I think it was 97 here today. So it's probably still around 90. But CFL, no, I don't. Yeah, I'm just a 49er fan. I got air conditioning in the house, but I'm out here in the garage right now for this. But yeah, it's not too bad. Uh, oh, Bobby, did you see Jake Paul won his boxing match yesterday night? I heard about it. I don't really follow it, you know. Yeah, I know it was real hot out there in the Midwest and the East Coast the last few days or week or whatever, you know. He has your journey quitting smoking going. Not good, Nathan. Not good. We put that on the back burner. We put that on the back burner. Too much stuff going. I got excuses for days when it comes to that. So, you know, uh, the NFL is considered like the big leagues, basically. I think the CFL is the Canadian Football League, I do believe. Um, a lot of players that don't get signed on with the NFL will go to the CFL, and it's not to take a shot at the CFL or anything like that, but it's just a level of athletes. I think you know. Yeah, and smoking is a hard one. And I'm a Christmas baby, Demarco. I'm born in December. All right, guys. I think maybe we'll go another 5-10 minutes, and then I think we're gonna wrap it up. Ezekiel says the NFL is a man sport. It's even with all the rule changes to protect the athletes, it's definitely a rugged sport. Yeah, that's good, Nathan. It's every yeah, it is definitely. I've heard about that ashwagandha. Yeah, that's one. I got the other one right here by my feet. Yeah, maybe that might be something I could look into. I don't know. I've heard that before, though. Oh, you didn't think it was a cat behind. Look at the ears. That's not cat ears. You have to check that out. We got Stormy down here. She gonna come say hi. There's Stormy. Say hi to the people, Stormy. Yeah, Stormy's hot. All right, girl, go on. Go on. So, no problem. Yeah, those are my babies. Yeah, that's Stormy. That's the cattle dog. Yeah, baby, go inside and drink some water. She's not gonna leave me. She's always up my butt. That's okay. Here, watch out. Get away from the thing there. That's Stormy. She's a cattle dog. She's probably 50 pounds or so. Uh, about yay high. Oh man, she's like a medium-sized dog. You know. Yeah, I love dogs. Definitely. Well, I love my dogs. When we're out there doing that Amazon Flex and people have dogs, I don't love them dogs that are trying to bite me. Haven't had too much experience with that, but we were over in Oak Hills. I believe it was last weekend, early morning run. Uh, what do you think helps you find clarity these days? That's a good question. Let me finish the story. We were in Oak Hills on dirt roads, and these properties are huge. You know what I mean? Like it's mostly property, little house, and yeah, definitely, Monk. I appreciate you tapping in, brother. I got your number. I'll reach out. I'll see if we can get something together next weekend. uh, yeah, you take care of yourself, bro. As far as what gives me clarity these days, uh, helps you find clarity these days, my family. My family and talking to the man upstairs, to be honest, uh, I don't have all the answers, but sometimes I look to him and he helps, definitely. So remember, if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe. I am Christian Nathan, yes. Be sure to subscribe if you're new and hit that notification bell so that when we do go live, you will be notified. I think I'm going to be dropping another video in the morning. I don't know. I recorded something earlier. It was kind of short, though. Maybe yeah, they're definitely a good support, Martin. I appreciate your comment. Eighth Lee from America, from YouTube. I just subscribed to your channel. You have my support. I appreciate that, Lee. Thank you. Ezekiel's been rocking with me for a long time. And yeah, so Ezekiel, he's a good kid. And I say I use that term with all due respect, but he's like 19. Like I'm middle aged. I'm getting towards the end of the road here. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's amazing the reach of YouTube. I get people from Pakistan, from all over the world, India, a lot from India. So yeah. And you know what? That's kind of common, Dale, when you're younger, like you're still trying to figure out what it is that you want to do. I didn't get sober until I was 32, 31. And, like I was just a confused kid prior to that, to be honest with you. Like I couldn't, the fact that I was on drugs didn't help, but let's see. Yeah, YouTube's definitely a good thing for connecting with people. I agree with you completely. So yeah, I think we're probably going to wrap this up in the next few minutes. I appreciate everybody that participated tonight. This was a good one, and thanks, son. Appreciate you, Big E. Just I'll probably come on live again tomorrow night. We'll see how things go, and just be careful out there this week, guys. I know they say we're on high alert for terrorism and stuff like that. My suggestion would be try not to be in areas where there's large crowds, and if you are, just be vigilant, pay attention to what's going on, and if something happens, do your best to get to a safe place. I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping nothing does happen, and this is all. Well, I appreciate that, Lee, and I learned a lot from you guys as well. So yes, stay safe, pray, and make good decisions. I agree. Have a good night. All right, guys. So yeah, just be careful out there. If you're struggling with addiction, listening live yesterday, Bobby. I was out in the sun all day, and now you're all good, Ezekiel. I appreciate what you do for the channel, bro. If you're struggling with addiction or alcoholism, find a new hobby. Get yourself to a meeting. And no, you didn't run me off. We've been on for about an hour. It's getting to be about that time to wrap it up. Like I said, I'll probably be on around the same time tomorrow night. So you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that when I go live again, you can hop back on. And I'm, glad for everybody's participation. I appreciate that. Where'd she go? Oh, I guess she got camera shy. She's off camera now. But yeah, Stormy usually comes through and says hello at some point. Uh, all right, good night. I appreciate everybody's participation. Like I said, if you're new, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and hit all. That way, when I go live, you'll be notified and you can jump in here and be a part of it, if you're new to sobriety, welcome. You can do this. If I could do it, you could do it. I was addicted over half of my life, and I was able to get clean. So if I could do it, I know that you can do it. It's just a matter of finding the right people to support you and getting that sponsor and working those steps, I'm going to shoot for around 8 p.m. California time, Lee. Maybe 9, somewhere right around in there. Sometimes I go live as late as 10, but, just depends on how the day goes. I don't think we have a whole lot planned for tomorrow. I don't work tomorrow, so, don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing and make sure you don't fall. All right, Lee, I appreciate you. Okay, Central Time. So, yeah, you're a couple hours ahead. But, yeah, I'm going to try to get on around 8 tomorrow night. Be on the lookout for that. And don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing. Appreciate you guys. Have a great night.